All right, so we're back. Now this side, we already got good flakes here, and we just need to run a couple into here. Okay, that's it. All this can just be pressure flaked in. On this side, you know, we're fine there. That's enough. That's good. That's good. That's good. But over here, there's some thick areas, and so in the meantime, I set up some platforms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll help balance out all the flakes. You see the ridges we're running here. And this is just a feather flake, really. But that'll make everything kind of the way we want it to be. And then we can just feather in from this side, and I gotta catch a little bit of this, but that's the plan. That's what we're going with. So because the base is so thin already, we'll start up here at the tip. Might as well, right? Now, what bopper do we want to use? This one should still be okay. Produce a wider flake typically. Okay. This flake is out in no man's land here. But because we ran this ridge first, it had a ridge to follow. So that helps. And now we got this here. Go ahead and hit it. Just feather that in. Okay. Now we just mosey our way down here to this one, which is really not as set up as I thought it was, but not great, but get the job done. That one did perfect. Yeah, this one didn't quite get set up the way I wanted it to, but it worked out okay. Now, to get it even thinner, got all these percussion strikes, you know, whatever. Still got a fairly thick edge, at least in my opinion. I mean, it's thinner, but now we run these ridges. All these ridges we just set up. I'm gonna run a lot of them. Because this is a NEWNAN point. And we have got to get this thing thinner. Where width is concerned. It doesn't need to be like paper thin, but we got to draw it in a little bit to get some curvature or convexity to the piece, so it doesn't look like a slab. I said that in such a derogatory way. Pete found somebody. Again. It says custom. I knew that one released a little weird. Let's see if we can use a secondary delta. Oh yeah. Have to abrade those secondary deltas, but that helps out. What that is basically when you take a strike like that, you got 2 ridges technically and 2 deltas, but you better abrade, because those platforms are fragile, and I mean fragile. So we're kind of doing a similar thing with the direct percussion. Well, we're direct percussion and all, you know, the entire thing, but we're just isolating certain ridges, and that gets us thinner. It just does. It's thicker down here and thinning it out as we go. Whoops. And we leave those big percussion scars in the middle, or at least we try to. It's kind of what we want to do. It's kind of an important strike, kind of not at the same time. We'll pressure flake that out, it's not a big deal. It's gonna be my go-to phrase here soon. Oh yeah, we'll just pressure flake that out. But we can, that's the thing, we can do that. Shooting from the base, I want to strike really quick, but if I do it with a big old bopper, it ain't gonna work too good. So I need to lower my bopper size. It's also a bit more dense here towards the base. I've noticed that in this particular piece. This face is beautiful. With exception to like 1 or 2 strikes. There's my perfectionist in me. There we go, that's one. I think we need one here too. That's it. Give me one here. Looking a lot better now. That tip still has that little slight dip in it, so I wanted to work it out really quick. Now, if I was ever to use indirect percussion, it'd probably be towards the tip and towards the base. If it was some kind of finesse area where I feel like I couldn't give it enough support when I struck it, then I would use indirect percussion, but on most of my recent points, I haven't used it. It's just, for me, I'm just not a fan. It doesn't produce those big wide flakes. I mean, if you got a big old copper head on it, then yeah, but usually it'll produce long, skinny flakes, depending on how you use it. You can use it in different ways, I guess. That one area right there, I'm gonna pressure flake that out. I'm not worried about it. That was where we had that one kind of bad strike I wasn't a big fan of. All right, because the base is so dense and fragile, and well, I shouldn't say fragile, it's just dense and has some of that crusted coral complex in it. Because of that, I'm gonna pressure flake. Not straight in. Pretty much just pressure flake down to get a little convexity going. The next time I strike on this side, I can press in. But first time around, I'm just going to press down. Now on this side, we got plenty of convexity, so I'll press in a little bit here. Don't mind if I do. And that'll leave a little bit of chatter up into there, but not much. I guess I'm gonna press down on this side. Oops. This side, we kind of got the angle to push in. I'm not push in here. Sometimes you push in a little bit harder than others. It just depends on your convexity that you're working with. It all depends. Just barely pushing in on this run. Did more straight up and down on that one. Okay, can I go? Kind of straight up and down here. Now here, I'll definitely push in a bit. I've got enough oomph to press into some of that thicker area. Now we're about getting to where we want to be on that side. So let me come back over here. And don't need to press too much in here. Just down. Over here. I could press in a good bit, but I'm not going to. I want there to be at least a little bit of thickness on this stem. I don't want it to be puny. So even though I could have gone thinner there, it wasn't wise. I need to have a little bit of oomph on the base. Just a little bit. You know? I don't want the base to be skinnier than the blade itself. At least that's how I'd prefer it to be, personally. Let me go ahead and work on this blade a bit. And this one will be one of those NEWNANs that has the kind of a bell, more of a bell shape than the other, than the V taper, you know. We're gonna see how this works out. And right now, I'm just gonna work on getting symmetry correct. So not super worried about much of anything else other than making sure our symmetry is right. This spot's a little low. Looks like most of our symmetry work needed to be done off of this bottom face, which is completely fine, as long as it's not way out of whack. This other side a bit. working our way down. Kind of want to work on the back side here, but I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be back to finish this point out. Okay, and we're back. I'm just now realizing that picking a white shirt for this is not amazing where background is concerned, but let's see if we can tidy up this point and finish it out and see what kind of job we can do with this. So I think we left off on a little bit of pressure flaking. You see my pad here, and figure out what I need to do. Looks like where the base is concerned, I can draw this side in a bit. Okay. I also see, as I look from this angle, that I could bring this in instead of it being out. Pete, quit that. It's not good water. Why don't you go lay down, Bo? So I am going to, Pete, quit that, Bo. I am going to bring this in a little bit. We get our braid. And just do a little bit of pressure work here. There we go. And this makes it from going to like from a slab kind of point to having some curvature. That's kind of what we're doing there. But we're also fixing our symmetry, so kind of a 2-in-1 deal. Because I did it on that side, I might as well go ahead and do the other side as well. I'll show you what we're working with. So we just did this face here. Now you see the curve, but we also have a low platform to draw some off of this face. So now that's what we're gonna do here. Also towards the tip, I don't mind pressing the flake all the way to the other side, because I know it can make it. The tricky part is the transition between sending pressure all the way across and then allowing the feathering to take place into the broad strikes. So here we just feathered into the broad strikes, but up here we went across. We even got a little step there. But that is kind of the goal. So on both sides, see the shadow area? On both sides, that's kind of my style of doing it. So yeah, let's do it again. So this side just looks like a slab pretty much because of our percussion strikes. This, well, it looks like a slab, but we got some curvature going on. It'll be some more convexity once we do our final touch-up. Is my hat in the way? If it is, I apologize. So sometimes I press in. In fact, most of the times on this whole stretch, I'm pressing in. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, so now you see we got the shadow. Turn my fan on. Forgot to do that. It's always good to have a fan blowing. Get all the silica dust out of your face. All right, so we got to finish this face. This side we already did. Just got one side left to do before the final touch-up. final touch-ups where the magic happens. And everything kind of looks like it should. Now I already know my symmetry's off, so I'm gonna fix that by, you see, I left a little bit of room on the base to fix it in case my symmetry was a little bit skewed. And looks like what I can do, well, let me see here. Do I want to lift this edge up here? Tad. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this here. Symmetry was too weird, so needed to fix it. Same thing we just did, sending some flakes across. Alright, now we're looking good. Okay. So, now that we did all that, let me tidy up this blade first, get the symmetry on the blade. Actually, I know that I want these to be relatively straight across, so I'm gonna fix that first. Make sure that's good. And that'll be the indicator for how I need to draw in the rest of the point. Because symmetry is definitely off right now. Okay, it's starting to get better. Whoa, almost dropped it. Almost. Yeah, that was a good decision to go ahead and try to figure out these. Whoops. Try to figure out the base here. That was my fan that fell. Put it back up here real quick. That'll work. All right. And I definitely want to bring this in just a tad. And once, I feel like my blade is definitely unsymmetrical, but once I get my base the exact way I want it to be, that'll be a good kind of marker to see how far I need to draw things in. I can kind of go from that. Okay. Really and truly, I think this side needs to come up a bit. Sorry, not speaking as much, just focusing in here. Making sure I get what I'm looking for. Okay. All right, I like that side. Okay, that was good. that was just kind of okay. It's all right, I'll take it. Really starting to get this base dialed in here, guys. That's the flake we needed right there. Really focusing here. Pearl Yoder told me that the flower pot NEWNANs that have kind of a flower pot shape tend to be the most appealing, as well as most authentic looking in a NEWNAN point than some of the other base styles. Okay, all right, got our base kind of the way we want it to be, or at least close. So now let's go back and attack this this edge here. Lay this down real quick. I love how sharp you can get these so quickly with the belt sander. Okay, get our piece back. Got our base the way we want it to be. Now, when we go for a final pass, which is what we're about to do, we want to just lightly abrade. Lightly abrade. And then, all right, so my camera ended up cutting out on me and my battery died, but figured I'd come out here the next day and show you the photo or the video of this in the sunlight. So came out really nice. I'm happy with it. I think this one's gonna go in my keeper case. And it's definitely got a little bit of translucence to it. Pretty cool. Appreciate y'all watching as always, and I'll catch you on the next one.